full switchboard. It's full to us.
Yes.
So just be patient, and
bear with us.
Once
We'll
Brenda
get to everybody.
once Brenda returns, we will get to the callers on the air. Now, what I did to begin the show was pull and his Archangel Metatron, which says you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So I am going to read further about the angel card that I pulled to help guide our show, and possibly it is a message for someone out there who needs to hear it.
Okay.
So it says, your life purpose involves helping and teaching children. You're here to help these children retain and amplify their psychic and spiritual gifts. Educate adults about natural and chemical-free ways to feed and raise these special children. The very young crystal children and the slightly older indigo children are important to the future of this planet. You can help ensure their bright future, and I will help you. And so that is important as we begin this new year to understand how the children who are on the planet, how we can help them and how we can guide them to further the awakening that's happening currently.
And I would totally agree. Hi, Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman. And how I would agree was that we need to do it not with what the way that we used to, as far as teaching them through fear. I mean, a lot of these shows, the Psychic Kids and all of these, it's all about getting the prime rating, getting the money, getting, you know, is it really helping the children? I don't know. I don't watch them. All I know is when people come to me and they're fearful about their, you know, their sensory system, their whole operating system is different than ours. And so, okay, so I teach them how to fine-tune, how to become friends with it, how to decipher, how to listen, and do what you need to do in order to be able to get to that next part that you need. Instead of having to be in this, the old way of fear, of unknown, not knowing it. I mean, our parents didn't have a clue. Your mother had a little bit more of a clue than my mother did about how to communicate and help us to function and do what we do with our empath, our feelings. And so I'm already here to help people, to help them process the emotions, help them process the experiences, help them process. So as a, I don't really like to call myself a psychic, but one of the things I do is I see where there's energy loss, where you have unresolved issues, and your life seems good except for your everyday something's happening, to where you're like, oh, everything's good, oh, but I can't pay my bills, I can't do this, I can't do that. And those are all based on the fact you have unresolved stories of how you responded first time that you were a kid. And we have a full switchboard, and I love having my guest, so we have 4 right to go. So we're going to take the first one, and we always take them in line of the who called first.
Right.
So
we're going to begin with area code 786, and we're going to ask for the other callers to just be patient. We know that you're there, and we will honor you.
We appreciate you.
And we appreciate you being here and being patient. So to begin with, we have caller 786 area code.
You're on the air with Brenda, Jen, and Scott.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How are you?
We're good.
Great.
How are you?
Happy New Year to you. I'm doing well, thank you. My question is, this year my boyfriend and I were thinking of living overseas, like for like 6 months to a year. I was wondering, do you just getting married this year and doing that? We're looking at a few places like Ecuador, because, you know, living overseas before we get to another family. I was wondering if you saw that for us.
All right. First of all, the first part of the question is, will you be living overseas? Yes or no? Okay. Is that the first part of the question?
Well, first of all, the question is, if you're getting married first to move overseas.
Ah, there we go. I just want to make sure. So, will you be getting married first, then move overseas? Just writing something down. Okay. So, as far as will you be getting married before you go overseas? The first thing that I feel is that there's somebody else's opinion involved that actually stops you from getting married. There must be a lot of rules and regulations. I don't know if it's his side. It's some type of a mother that seems to be having an opinion about your relationship or about how you're going to get married. Do you have that happening?
Well, my mom is trying to, I'm saying that his mom thinks, well, we haven't met about 8 months.
Okay.
I'm his mom, but she seems okay with us together.
Okay, so have you announced that you want to get married?
We haven't. I kind of hinted to my mom, and she was happy about it, excited.
Okay.
I don't know if he said anything to his mom yet.
And all I know is that I can just see how, okay, this is what the feeling nature is, well, you know, it's like, oh, you can't get pregnant until you get married. You can't do this until you get that. So does somebody say that you can't get married until you save up $5,000? Or you can't do this until you, I mean, do people have that type of opinion about the way that you should be going about your life? Have you ever had that yet?
Yes, my mom probably, I don't want a big wedding. I can see that happening. We just probably want to get married and, of course, you know, and just,
Okay.
you know, just have a wedding. I don't want a wedding, really.
Right, so if this sounds familiar, then pay attention to the fact is that this is going to be your issue when it comes to wanting to get married on the time basis that you would like, okay? Because what I see is, yes, you're going to get married, and you're going to do it before you move, but there's going to be some complications. And they want you to find the new love with the people that are being honest, because they really probably wanted to see their daughter in a white dress walking down an aisle in a great big cathedral. Who knows what their wedding dream is for their child? Okay?
Yeah.
And it's not that you're breaking anybody's heart, but to find that new way of loving somebody when they have all these rules and standards. Don't lose yourself. I got stuck having to put people in my wedding that I didn't want, but everybody kept sticking their nose in. And I wanted my family members, my new family members, to love me. And I didn't know how to say no. And they're saying you're going to find a new way to love them so that you can have this movement, because you don't want to start off on the wrong foot when it comes to a great big adventure that you're doing. Now, Jen has, well, I don't want to do her yet. Scott had drew a card, and you go ahead and...
Yeah, this is I drew the number 28, the movement card. Let's see, you are in a time of positive forward motion. This is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts, and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't a time for fear. Let it go and move forward. Wow, that's kind of
Strong.
strong.
Okay, now Jen, what did you have?
So the deck that I'm using is the Wisdom of Avalon from Colette Baron Reed. And the first card is the Goblin, but it's reversed. And now the Goblin is the wounded human ego. So when the Goblin appears on your path, your plans are or about to go awry. The Goblin wants to lead you astray and whispers the negative spell of fear, anger, resentment, self-righteousness, arrogance, selfishness, greed, gluttony, procrastination, and addiction. So it seems positive to me that to begin with, that which you thought might be leading you astray is not going to.
That's why I think the new love card came up, was just have an open mind that these people want it to be a certain way, and, you know, it'll work out the way it's supposed to.
Right, and so then the next card is the Eagle, which is about spirit, integrity, connection to the angelic realm. So just maintain that or nurture that. I'm not sure what your relationship is to that, to spirit and the angels and that kind of thing, but but it's just saying be mindful and keep that connection going strong. And then the Cow card is reversed, and that's about nourishment, abundance, asking, and receiving. And so that may be the former way of how you nourished yourself or how you took in life through these family relationships may need to change, or about how you're asking or receiving also needs to change.
Gotcha. I actually have a couple of validations, and now when you guys are speaking about the spiritual part of your life, because I've been thinking I need to get back and, just in church and just be more connected. The past few months I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance, to kind of put that on the back burner. That's something that's important to me. So you're right on the money on that. And also, I just talking to my hands up, but the first thing you said is, I'm an only child and I'm a girl, so I don't know if it's my mom that's going to be the issue or his mom, because his mom is kind of still friends with his ex. of them would be the issue for us.
But there is, you know, just noticing that they may have a dream about how they would like to see it done. Now, I drew a card for the idea of moving to Ecuador, to moving. And to be married before you move is what came in my mind. And the card that came up it's in reversed, and it's called Strength. It says, when you see the Strength card reversed, pay particular attention to your health, for this indicates your body, mind, and spirit needs strengthening at this time. So one thing they're asking you is to get prepared. Have you moved away before? Have you lived in exotic places before?
Well, originally I was born on an island, but I've been in the States since I was about 4, so I don't think that counts. You know, I haven't been back, but... Because
one thing that pops up is that if you're close to your family and then you move that far away, you will actually probably get homesick, and that does affect the body. As far as putting all this effort into work into it, are you and your boyfriend going to be able to work in harmony together to make sure that neither one of them does it alone? Because it goes further. It says exercise, rest, and proper nutrition are necessary to keep you in balance. Don't deplete yourself through overwork, as now is the time to build your stamina. So they're saying if you're going to do it, be prepared. Make sure that you and your boyfriend work in together. Like me and Scott will go in the kitchen, and I make sure he doesn't do things alone. He makes sure I don't do things alone. So when we see one or the other doing something, we jump in and say, how can we work together? And then before you know it, we got it all done. So want to make sure that you're communicating on that. It says, perhaps you feel the bonds weakening in a relationship. If they are in danger of being broken, they may need repair. So just know that when you're starting to create more intimate moments where you're getting more close quarters, that's the word I want. Remember, don't let your what do you want to call it, you're taking offense to everything. You know, just pay attention and say, wait a minute, do I really have to feel this way? Do I really have to follow my feelings? You may want to shut your door now, Scott. So anyway, it says, attend to them.
Do you see late fall? Because he's thinking spring, and that's way too soon.
Oh, no, no.
Kind of make sure we plan everything right.
Oh, no, I don't.
Kind of...
Did I say spring?
No.
No. As far as time-wise, you'll know, because the preparation, your body wants, your physical body needs to be prepared, okay? And if you're not ready to go, you'll know it, because all of a sudden you'll be pulling away. You have to have a certain preparation physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So do I see you going and moving? Yes. Do I see you enjoying it? Yes. And I can see the fun and the excitement. And they're just telling you to please just make sure that you don't put all the burden on yourself. Don't be putting and taking on and being a strong person. Make sure that if you're really in the relationship, to work together, because otherwise you'll create excess crap you don't need in the relationship.
Gotcha.
Okay? And any time that you feel like sadness is coming on, then use a healing tool and tap that out. Because our thoughts can create us to feel a certain way, and sometimes we dwell on thoughts a little longer than we need to, and it can rob us of our joy. So just remember that you can always turn to the healing tools, and Jen will tell you where to go for that. But during the time of separation, because right now you're full of joy and happiness, and that's awesome. But if you have sadness that comes up, just remember, you can go to mwreveal.com and look at the healing tools.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, so we got yes and yes, and Jen got 2 cards for you.
Okay, so then I pulled cards about them moving wherever you're going to move, and it's about perception and your partnership. So however you're perceiving, you're taking in, you're understanding, you're seeing your ability to take in your partnership is what you need to be mindful of, which is what Brenda was just saying. So just, they just said keep your eye on the prize, which is your partnership, which is what you want. And then our healing tools, mwreveal.com. Look on the left-hand side of our front page, you'll see healing tools. Go to the menu, and there's just all kinds of different healing tools to take with you as you go on the road.
Even in one of the healing tools is the golden lasso that'll help you bring into what you want. You know, like I want to. You can always say to the angels, "Thank you for arranging my marriage. Thank you for my trip and a safe move." And start paying attention to when the angels are actually helping you, and say thank you, because you can be guided every step of the way with help. Okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
happy congratulations on getting married, moving, and all that good stuff.
And Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, take care.
And we'll take the next caller.
Okay, which is area code 720. You are on the air with Brenda, Jen, and Scott.
Hello.
Hello, and Happy New Year to both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
so, have you had a good Christmas?
Well, my New Year was just spectacular. I don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
good to know. All right. So how can we help you, my
Yeah,
dear?
but it was spectacular. I'm in a new place. Only been here about a year and a half, and everything is kind of new to me. I'm in a new career. I'm in school, and I'm wanting to move, but my heart is telling me that I should purchase a house, but I'm on a time frame in terms of the time that I need to move from where I'm living at. So I'm not really sure how to proceed. I'm kind of thinking that I should probably rent, and then, within that year try to find a house to purchase. And I'm not even sure where to look because I'm in a new area. Everything's new to me.
Okay.
So my question is about move.
Okay. All right, Scott, do this.
Yes.
Your question is about movement. Should you move? Should you move into a house? Should you move? Now, the first thing that comes to mind is the reason they asked me about did you have a nice Christmas, and I thought that's odd, was how to it was the social network, getting people to know you all over again. And that is, you don't celebrate Christmas? What's wrong with you? All of these things that you're coming against people's, other belief systems and values.
Right,
And have you found, where you are, do you feel like people are respecting you or not respecting you?
And you said where you are, you mean in where I'm living, or
Yes.
where in the state?
No, where you're living at, with the people around you, any day, anything, whether it's your work or school or whatever, the people that are around you, do they
respect
yeah,
that you don't, you celebrate
because you're
differently?
different.
Yeah. Well, the difference is that there's some differences that they may not agree with in terms of what my values are. But that doesn't really bother me because
Okay.
I am who I am.
Right, but they show respect too?
Sometimes.
Okay, sometimes. Because they said that actually, even though you got confidence in the way that you believe in yourself, that you know that, I don't care what they think or what they say or what they don't believe, it does affect you to some degree because it creates a spark in you, and your soul wants to always be sparked. And it wants to be able to come together and to take your dreams to where you need to go. And they brought up that social awkwardness or the social acceptance issue. But if you're looking and saying right now consciously everything looks good, that's great. I'm looking at a particular pattern that sometimes you become mortified. There's a strength. It's not the adult you, but the young you. Now, did you move around a lot as a kid, or just because I see at 1 year old, it looks like you may have moved?
I think I probably did. I don't remember a lot of things when I was younger, but we probably moved. I'm not really sure. I don't have a good memory about.
Okay, well,
when I was younger.
So there is that losing strength or being mortified. So have you ever been mortified?
Of course.
Okay, they're saying because you know that that's been in your past, that actually affects the way you're going to move and how you're going to move. Okay, your strong sense of your connectiveness says that, buy a house, do this, do that. But the part of you that's uncertain is the one that's questioning this at this moment, and that's why you called in. It's that part of you that's uncertain. Now, the part that you trust and you believe in wants to communicate. It wants to bring that together. But what happens is my husband drew a card, and it is come together, but it's reversed. And so again, this is all about investigating where Spirit wants to talk. So go ahead, Scott.
Okay, well it says, when the come together card appears reversed, it is a sign that perhaps a love connection is unbalanced. Is intimacy being withheld from you, or are you withholding it from another? Longing and yearning are often mistaken for love, when in fact they are signs of lack. Perhaps you've been doing all the emotional work and pouring your water into an empty well, to the point then that you now are also depleted. Know this: true love will not be denied you. What is truly for you will never walk past you or require this much energy. Drop the agendas, the fight, and the need to win, and allow love to follow through you. True love will always find its reflection in another.
Okay, so just become aware when, because there's that part of you that you trust, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is because you have all this time factor and all these things are playing out, the uncertainty part of you, that scared little 1-year-old part of you, is popping up and going, oh, but maybe I should do this, logically I should do this. And that card was just telling you that, no, you already know that everything's going to line up and fall into place. Because all of a sudden, if you're thinking about it ahead of time, you're going to sabotage. But if you allow yourself to say, thank you, angels, or whoever it is that you talk to, say thank you for arranging it. And you will know, because you have seen signs of how they lined it up and played it out. And so you just need to be recentered. Yes. The question that you said is the movement's there. Yes, you will be moving. But first, take the gems where you are. Because where you...
Take what?
The gems of what your soul wants you to learn. You're not there for just because you're there. There's a reason that your soul wanted you to be there. And just say, okay, show me the gems. What am I supposed to learn? Who am I supposed to connect with? Am I supposed to learn something? And then just say thank you. And when it starts to come into play, you can say, if this is it, so be it. And that happens to be something I say to the universe when something goes on. And once I get what's going on, everything around me changes for the better. So if you know that you're supposed to move, then say, why am I here in the first place? And as soon as you feel like you got it, you say, thank you. If this is it, so be it. And watch the universe then say, okay, good, she got it. Now we're going to take and move her, and you'll see how fast it'll move with grace and ease. Now, Jen drew some cards. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, so as I was shuffling, the movement card literally jumped out of the deck.
I watched it.
And so there will be movement forward. So then I pulled cards. And you were talking about a house and apartment. So the house card is the focus card reversed. So it is, where is your focus? What are you focusing on? Maybe your focus needs to shift as far as if you want to or need to, or you feel like you need to secure a house. Just look at what you're focusing on at this point in time as far as the house goes. Now, as far as an apartment, I got the Grail Knight card, and that is reversed. And angels say to pay attention to this part of it. It is a gentle warning. Light cannot exist without shadow, so don't be fooled by the illusion of perfection. Be willing to see the shadow and ask for honesty. Then you can never be disappointed. This is a fortunate omen. So it's just paying attention. Again, it feels like it's about the focus, what is coming into focus, where your focus is, and that kind of thing, and looking what maybe where the light is being shed in the situation and follow that. If that makes any sense.
So in other words, you're saying that's about manifestation, and that's about me just focusing and just manifesting what I want instead of just saying, well, maybe, I should wait, or not really being, focused in terms of what I really want. Is that what that reverse means?
The reverse part.
It's just paying attention to what you're focusing on. If you have the ability to manifest and do great things the way that you naturally do that, then and maybe any doubts or anything where you have to focus on it has to be perfect or it has to show up a certain way, then take a look at that.
Like I said, your 1-year-old is causing you to be uncertain and to question and sabotage because it has some unresolved issues that it wants you to address. And because like I said, you are quite certain that you know you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and this. But then you're calling and asking a question, which is not wrong or anything. It's just, that's that uncertain part of you, and that's when all of a sudden your focus is now switched onto what you want to do, but now focused onto the worry. And the universe can't get you to see that it's already answered it, because the one card that Scott read says it's already taken care of. And
right, and I've heard my angel say that to me too, that, you know, we will lead and guide you to where you're supposed to be.
yeah, so
Right.
just be watching when you start focusing on worry or thinking and sabotage. But if it comes up that maybe you should be getting an apartment, you'll know, because you've watched other signs in the past that it's just come to you and you're like, oh my God, yeah, I got to do this, and you'll know. So go back onto that certainty that you do know. It's a knowing that, yes, I trust that my angels and all this are doing this for me. And anytime worry comes up, you can even use a healing tool from our website just to tap it out, because you don't need that interference when it comes to the natural flow of listening to your spirit and the guides. Okay?
Right.
Okay, so we do see movement, and I do see the next logical step, if we're going to do that, would be, you know, maybe you're going to be a boarder somewhere, or you'll be paying rent somewhere, but it is a transitional state before you actually find the home that you're supposed to buy, because it'll be calling you. But you have to first take that path of stepping on this stone, stepping on that stone, and getting all the gems and all that are the goodies that your spirit wants to get before you actually get that home. Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what we got for you, dear.
Okay, and thank you so very much, all of you.
Oh, thank you, dear. And have a great year.
Okay, then.
Many
Bye.
blessings.
All right, so we'll jump to the next one.
And that is a Skype
Skype caller.
caller. Hang on.
Okay.
Now we have the Skype caller on the air with Brenda, Jen, and Scott.
Hi, how are you?
We're good.
Great.
And you?
Pretty good.
How can we help you?
Any new relationship, friendship from my past, or anything new coming my way, or for 2013?
When it comes to relations for 2013, what do you have the message for her? Very soon. Says the card popped up. Says very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So if you would like to have a relationship, say yeah, and you can then take and one of the healing tools we have is the golden lasso, and you can throw that golden lasso out and say, yeah, I'm ready for a relationship, thank you, and then throw it out, cast it out, and then bring it to you, and allow Spirit to show you, you know, who's next in line and who should be in your space. And you can do that as friends, with friends as well as lovers and even mates. So when it goes a little bit further about relationships, they said they want you to heal the unrequited love issue that's coming up. It says there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going, because are you the type of person that loves to give and and then you can't receive love back? I didn't say that correctly. Do you give love and don't see people giving love back as much as effort you put into it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I mean by unrequited love. There's a part of you that's had a program that says I give and give and give, but when it comes back is I don't see it coming back. And what happens is that that's a framework that's in our subconscious mind that says I have to expect people not to give love back to me. And the only way I see them giving back is by not getting it. So you have love associated with not getting. And that is a program that I see that had come about when you're about 2.5 years old. Okay? You can change that. You can heal the expectations that even though, you know, like using EFT, even though I expect people to treat me this way, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. So there's different ways of healing. Look at the healing tools on the website, and Jen will tell you about that in a few minutes. Scott picked out a card.
Heal the ouch. That was reversed. Okay, reversed. This card is a message urging you to make amends for any harm you've done to another. Appraise yourself honestly. How have you been selfish, greedy, or inconsiderate of others? Have you harbored resentment toward those who have harmed you in the past? practice deep and radical forgiveness. In order to be free, to know healing, you must surrender your old hurts and begin anew. Forgiving yourself and loving yourself is important too. Be humble and willing to admit to your weakness. Know the imperfections of the human personality. Walk tall as you take the path of the shaman, the wise elder who is willing to go into the shadows to bring healing light to old wounds.
So what they're saying is that if you're going to encounter a relationship, you may all of a sudden take offense quickly, or you may have your hurt.
It may remind you of a past relationship, and you
Bringing up old
don't want to
baggage.
go back to that old mindset.
Exactly, and so this relationship that you may bring in, and depending on which way you're going to do it, it could be a lesson for you to say, oh crap, I got some stuff that I have to release. And a lot of it hurts is because we're unable to let go of the pain that we had associated with what happened to us, and it's the actual pain. But you can heal that. Trust me, you can heal that. So Jen, what do you have?
I have something similar as to the card that Scott pulled. Go figure. It is the Birth and Rebirth card, and I am using the Wisdom of Avalon deck, Colette Baron Reed, and it's reversed. And so it's saying that it reminds you that anything old or painful can be brought forth or transformed by a new and creative perspective. So it's just another reminder to pay attention to that on the road of wanting relationships or anything from the past and that kind of thing. Then I got the bee. When the bee buzzes onto your path, it's a reminder that with hard work and a firm commitment to building your dreams, a sweet outcome is assured. The bee is a symbol of luck, so expect miracles and your life will be victorious and sweet. Remember that you also create your own luck. That is, effort is essential as you progress along your path in order to make your dreams a reality. And then, as you're doing this hard work, as you're paying attention, as you're putting yourself forward, as you're being involved in the situation, the hawk comes along and says to expect a message to be delivered to you to aid in your quest. Perhaps a telephone call from a friend will help you solve a mystery, or a chance meeting with someone will solve a riddle. You may literally see writing on a wall or overhear a conversation between strangers that reveals your own answer unexpectedly. So as you're paying attention to how your past is informing your present and future, and you're taking the effort to move forward, pay attention to the synchronicity, pay attention to the signs that come along the path.
The last card that you said also, there's another perspective on it because it says omens and messages. Sometimes we listen to too many of our red flags, and the red flags need to be resolved. Sometimes you have to collect and prove that people are assholes, and so you can't ever see the goodness of a person because you have to see them through that filter of being upset. So sometimes you can read the omens or the red flags wrong because you need to stay in the pain. That's another way to look at that card.
Right.
So do you have any issues that you needed to resolve?
My end, somewhat kind of, but a friendship won't communicate with me, so I can't see what I did wrong, or if I have to apologize.
Ah, okay. So there's a part of how that friendship kind of was broken, and you're not sure exactly what the hell happened. Is that correct?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay. So there sounds like you need to do some evaluation and see what comes up. And let me just see where you're at. Yeah, you're in the unfoldment stage, which means you're going to have to look at another perspective to why this occurred and how this occurred. It's because your soul says it wants you to grow from that space of who you are. Now I'm going to look at this another direction. I want you to focus
like
on...
the word
I'm sorry,
like the word you used before, like ass.
Ah, okay. So what I want you to do is focus on this person, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the soul, why did this story play out the way it did? Why was this story supposed to play out? Why, what happened? And they said it's about the dreaming process, yours. So do you have ideas and things and stuff that you want to do, and did you feel like you became stifled?
Cycled.
Stifled, meaning, what, Jen? Meaning
Pushed down, squelched,
not heard?
shushed.
Not heard.
Not
Yeah,
heard.
when
Okay.
somebody comes along and just says shush, you
Yeah.
know that's a stifling or something like that.
So you'll be yourself, and they're saying that you like to talk, you'll dream, and you do this and that, and then all of a sudden,
You get the shut up message somehow.
and so that kind of puts a damper on having relationships.
Right.
And so I'm going to say, okay, somebody asked Spirit, so when is the first time that this person was basically shushed? It's about, they're wavering. Wow, you got two particular incidences that are affecting you. Okay, one of them is at 6, and one of them is inside the womb. I've never seen two show up before. Inside the womb, about 3 months in the womb. Were you supposed to be a twin?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just checking because sometimes the majority of people are supposed to have twins, but they never have them.
Right, and 3 months is still way too young to start feeling like kicks in their rib or
Right.
anything like that.
And
You're still
so the pattern. Now I have to look at the pattern. Is this part of past life? No, this is
was
feeling the pattern of how. So when you think of your mother, was she the type of person that wasn't hurt either?
No, she was hurt.
She was hurt. Okay, now that
Mhm.
here's the thing. Now, in 3 months in the womb, did you take? I'm going to ask your soul. Did she take on the behavior that she didn't want to be heard like that? Okay. So, is there some things about your mother that you just wish that, or just hope that you would be different? You don't want to become like that.
Okay.
I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Is your mother, okay, because there's some behaviors that you just don't want you to be, I don't want to be like that. Like when my father, I didn't want to be an abuser. And so I made that decision a long time ago, I'm not going to be like that. And that's what I see here, is that you were inside the womb, and her particular way of how she's heard, or the way she goes about being heard, I think you took offense to that when you were 3 months old, going, I'm going to write my little manual for a living. Do not do that. Okay? So that's why then they said that at 6 years old, you could have had an embarrassment where you were doing your thing. You could have been on stage acting, singing, or something. And then all of a sudden, your mother kind of stepped in and overvoiced anything that, how do I want to put it? So would you feel like your mother is involved, but yet she would just take over and didn't matter what you thought?
Pretty much.
Okay, because I'm watching, in my mind, they're showing me Carol Christmas, and that's with Tori Spelling, and that's what her aunt did. Didn't really care about her, just told her everything was good for her, but do everything my way. And so the embarrassment. So now I got to figure out where they're all going with this. When it comes to, that's right. So the whole reason why this friendship thing, why this was happening, is because you're recreating the moments you did when you were younger through this friend. And there's a part of you that's like, I don't want to have this type of relationship. I don't want to do this. But yet at the same time, your heart hurts because, just as a kid, your heart hurts because you love your mother. But yet at the same time, you're like, but I don't like my mother. You know what I'm saying? There's a tug of war inside of you. And then after a while, you just can't take it anymore. That's the pattern I'm seeing anyway. So with the friend, I feel like there's a part of you that's not even sure what the hell happened, but it sounds like they had, they made the decision for you, and you don't even know what's going on.
Right, your voice didn't matter in this situation, and then all of a sudden things just came to an end, and it's like, what?
Anyways, that's what I see. So when it comes to letting go, when it comes to a relationship with this person and with your mother and anybody else, I would tell you that the hope that would help you the most would be the healing tool that is in our healing tool spot of, cord switching. And that is actually cleaning up the relationship cord between two people. And getting back your power and letting go all of the way they tell you that you're supposed to be and act, or the way that they believe, the way their pain is. And the cord switching will create a big healing for you. But it's time to clean up what's going on in that space so that you can actually feel like you have room to dream and to be and to think. So Jen, where would this person need to go?
Our website is www.mwreveal.com. M as in medicine, W as in women, reveal.com. On our front page on the left-hand side, you'll see the menu, and you go to healing tools, and then there's a whole great deal of healing tools that will pop up, and cord switching is one of those healing tools.
You know, do it when you feel comfortable. Read it over. It feels like something you can do it. Look at other healing tools. You'll find which one works for you. But what I feel is that you want closure, resolution, and the healing tools are the best way to get that. Okay?
Very cool.
All right. Thank you, dear. And check back in. Thank you. Chose differently.
So what are you, Jen?
A cohort. Co-host.
Cohort, huh? Anyway. We want to say who do we want to pray for in the chat room?
We
Somebody?
have, it's Junie Flo's friend.
Okay.
Her husband goes to dialysis, and is somebody they know through that experience, is having amputation.
Okay.
And had a finger amputated, and then has had toes amputated. And it sounds like that's due to
Diabetes.
yes, thank you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to send more angels into play, and we're going to help you feel the presence of them by just sending in the frequency of helping to bridge. And we help you to respect that this particular part of the soul is happening. A lot of our physical aches are because these emotions are trapped and there's no outlet, so they have to travel through the body. And a lot of times, like if there are too many people, if you criticize too much, or somebody criticizes too much, or you're listening to criticism too much, that can affect the kidneys. The diabetes is sometimes when you completely get thrown off center, and the person that you love doesn't love you back, can throw the joy center to completely off kilter. So there's a lot of meanings, a lot of aches and pains that it represents life as, and we can find that. So we're going to go to the next caller, and who will that be?
That will be area code 832. You're on the air. We've got a caller in queue, and then we've got someone in the chat room that we will guide as to when to call in. So right now it's area code 832. You are on the air with Brenda, Jen, and Scott. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. How can we help you, dear?
Well, I have had an odd year. A 20-year relationship ended, and I never thought that would happen to me, but it did. So
Okay.
I've taken the last year to just take care of myself, eat right, exercise, put myself in the right frame of mind, and I decided it would be a year.
Yes.
Well, the year is just about up, and I need to make some decisions about which direction I'm going, and I was hoping you ladies and gentlemen might be able to help me.
Yes. First of all, to know why the 20-year relationship ended. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the other person. Sometimes it is your soul needing to wake you up to say, hey, more self-love. What direction do we need you to go in? And pretty much that's what you just said. The first card that comes up is learning to let people help you. And learning to receive that help. And there's some control issues. And I don't know if it's yours or if you see people's control issues, but there's some control issues that seem to be interfering with the unfoldment of your soul. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And they're saying that those are the big things that happen, and because of it, you're either going to get a whispering opportunity where Spirit will say, oh, whisper, 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 let's do this, and you hear it and you move, or you don't hear it and you seem like whatever the bitch slap's going to come is going to hit and blindside you. You're like, I didn't see it coming! And that's because you had not trained yourself to listen to your spirit, the flow of who you are. And so then Scott drew the card.
Moonlighting.
And it's
It's
up for you.
reversed. It says your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. Too much analyzing is getting you nowhere. Stop overthinking things. You may be exhausted from second guessing yourself all the time and losing your footing. Are you insecure about your ability to make good choices? Step back and regroup, and enter into a more trusting relationship with the flow of life. Don't become overly concerned about perceived mistakes. How will you learn to dance if you don't occasionally take a misstep? On the moonlit pathways, you can discover love and truth and wondrous things. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Go play, have fun, stay open, and trust.
So what I'm getting is there's a pattern of that you're still in a state of stunned, or it's not really shock as much stunned, and it creates you to it's not trust yourself. I'm going to put it. You can't figure it out, and you'll have all these options and different things, but you don't really feel the one that's going to pull you, because there's a part of you that's still longing for. Wait a minute, I liked what I had, and you hadn't let that go yet. And they're saying that you need to let that part go because you weren't finished with it. And when you weren't finished with it, you will have a harder time moving forward. And the universe, or I should say the future, will take you kicking and screaming. So to help you let go of what you're not finished with is that you would have to address that particular feeling and that particular thing, because it's how you know it that's keeping you locked and into not being able to create what you want. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I will help you find a healing tool for that. Jen drew some cards.
Yes, so I asked the direction that you're headed. What can we, what is to pay attention to, the direction that you're headed. You're moving forward, how are you headed in that way? And using the Wisdom of Avalon deck, the cards that I got the Fire Fairy, which is about creative action and optimism, and I'm going to read about this helper. The Fire Fairy sparks ideas into action. She rules the flame of creativity and encourages you to move quickly. She is also the voice of happy optimism, showing you signs, signals, and omens to support your dreams. The Fire Fairy gives you hope and courage and ensures that your dreams will come true if you simply act on them. So it's about action. And then you got the Hawk animal card, which is also about omens and messages and paying attention. And then there's love. Love will be present this year, but it's also about, is it about a relationship? It may be continuing to take care of yourself, because as they say, if you don't love yourself, who else can? So this marker reminds you to show kindness and compassion to all whom you meet on your path, be it a beggar on a street corner, a coworker, a family member, an animal, or a plant whose leaves need pruning. This marker asks you to shift perception from yourself as a solitary person on the earth to one who's part of a living system. Love is what made you, so keep it flowing. Remember to receive love as well. And ask yourself, am I blocking love? So it seems like a fortuitous year, but it's about action, paying attention to the message, and also love.
And also in the cards, I see another perspective is, yes, you take the action, and you said, what was this one?
It's about omens and messages and signs along the road.
Okay, you said one specific word. And the thing is know that how you used to feel like you were thrown off guard, now you have to be careful with listening to the omens and messages and make sure there's no baggage attached to it, because when there's baggage attached to it, when you're not finished with something, you're going to make yourself miss opportunities, because you're going to stay focused on the pain that once resolved. And so we have a website that has healing tools on it. There's many healing tools I would suggest, but the one that I would have you do that's consistent, because you need to be in control to some degree about however you function or how you do your patterns of life, and that is meridian tapping. Have you ever heard of like EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique?
I have. I actually have 2 books on it, yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, the meridian tapping is by Gary Craig as well, but it's just the shorter version. It's quick, it's easy, and how you're going to do is part of it is that I can't figure this out. Even though I can't figure this out, I did completely love and accept myself. Even though you're going to find quick little words of how you know, okay? The first one is, I'm not finished with it yet. Because there's a part of your brain that says, what the hell? Even though it knows it's done and it's past and it's over, that part that was in shock because it occurred never got the closure it needed. And so it's asking you to go into how you know you're not finished. Even though I long for this, even though I yearn for this. So using quick words or phrases, even if it's just a feeling without words, you know to just tap that out. Put it on a scale from 0 to 10, give it a color, and tap it out. Because it literally, that part of you is saying, I have to resolve this. And you will. By knowing how you know it and watching what comes up, you can disrupt the signal and you can actually change and create that closure you need. Okay?
And as we say, when in doubt, tap it out.
Yeah, when in doubt, tap it out. Jen, where would she go just so she can look at all the healing tools?
Our website's www.mwreveal.com, M as in medicine, W as in women, reveal.com. And then on the left-hand side of our front page, in the menu, you see Healing Tools. Click on that, and you get a pop-up. And meridian tapping is what we were just talking about, but there's a wide variety of other healing tools that will help you. I just feel like I got banged up.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, and do that, and then contact us sometime. Call back in, okay?
All right, I will.
All right, thank you. Many blessings.